coming, the Yanks are coming, the drums rum-tumming everywhere.
Welcome back, my friends and fellow Americans. This show has been made to honor those who have served the colors and have been in the military. The show is also here to have those who have never had the honor of wearing the colors to understand a little bit about military life, and also for those veterans who have served to understand they should be proud that they served their country and defended it. They answered the call. Last week was Veterans Day weekend. I had the honor to speak and attend several Veterans Day celebrations. While I was writing my speeches, I thought about what the vets have done since the country was born. It's said that the Founding Fathers started the country on July 4th, 1776, writing an important document, the Declaration of Independence. Let me tell you, it started April 19th, 1775, on Lexington Commons, when Minutemen, who had decided that tyranny and oppression should end, fired the shot heard around the world. The Continental soldiers, sailors, Marines, delivered by putting their lives on the line. They fought in hills, fields, forests, swamps. They suffered heat stroke, mud, starvation, disease, threatening freezing from snow and soaking rains. They lost more battles than they won, but they never gave up. The core of those men and women fought for 10 years until 1783. They are the ones who gave us the United States of America. Since then, the men and women who have worn the uniform in countless wars in some of the same conditions have defended this country and freedom and our rights. We all swore an oath, and we have lived by it, even after we left the services. Yes, they deserve Veterans Day and our country's thanks. My guest today is a Chicago native who joined the Army right out of high school. Like many, he did not determine what he wanted to do in the future, so he enlisted for 3 years in the Army in active duty. He then joined the Army Reserves for 18 years. He deployed to Germany, Kuwait, and Iraq. He has been awarded the Bronze Star with an Oak Leaf Cluster, the Army Achievement Award Ribbon, the Iraqi Campaign Ribbon, and Award for NCO Professional Development. Upon completing active service, he became a railroad conductor for 12 years. During that time, he is called back to service in Iraq. He resides in Palos Hills and is married and has a college graduate daughter. Tony is also involved in the Oak Lawn VFW, where he serves and is the post commander. Thank you, Tony Smertene, for coming on board.
Thank you, Jim.
What determination made you decide to join the Army?
Well, at that time, back in the 80s, the economy wasn't doing good. There was not that many jobs out there that you can go and get. So I wanted to make something of my life, and so I joined the Army.
Where did you go to basic training, and what do you remember about that training?
My first basic was Fort Dix, New Jersey. And that was pretty tough because you ran, you didn't walk anywhere, you just ran. They were called double time,
Yep.
you know, and you probably back in the day, and you only spoke when spoken to. You had to ask permission,
Right.
you know, and even when you weren't at the chow line in the mess hall, you know, you'd be in a mess hall and they tell you, shut up, eat up, and get up. So that was, you know, but it was good training. We also had training in how to assemble an M16 and disassemble it within 2 minutes, how to throw grenades, how to read a map. And you probably recall that with the 4-digit grid and the grid squares. you know. And that was your common task training, what it was called. And it was very good training.
You remember the gas chamber?
Oh, yeah, very well. Yeah.
What was your initial MOS, the military occupation specialty, and what was the training like?
My initial was called a 64 Charlie, which is transportation. Anything with wheels, they had wheels on it, I drove. Training was pretty rough. We had to learn everything from PMCS, which is Preventive Maintenance Check Services, how to drive it, how to ground guide, do maneuvers. So,
Yeah, I remember driving those 5 tons.
oh yeah, I did 5 tons, gores. I don't know if you remember the gores, like a big gamma goat.
Yep. After 3 years in the regular army, you joined the reserves. What made you decide to do this?
That was my obligation. I joined 3 years active, 3 years reserve.
Well, you stayed in it for a little bit longer than that, though, didn't
Yeah,
you?
I kept re-enlisting.
You show that you had a number of MOSs. Can you tell us about the ones that you had and what the duties included?
Well, as I stated earlier, 64 Charlie was a transportation. 54 Echo was nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare, NBC.
What did that fall?
That's NBC. They gave me a bunch of manuals that were like this high. It said study them. I was like, okay. But they had to deal with nuclear and biological chemical warfare with downwind and the different chemicals our enemies were using in the battlefield. It was pretty overwhelming.
Yeah, I remember us training a little bit on that.
Yeah.
What was your other MOSs?
Was a tank mechanic.
Okay.
And it was pretty good because I'm a small guy, so I fit in a tank pretty good.
They're a little crowded, aren't they?
Oh yeah, it's called the hall mechanic.
What's it feel like to be in a tank?
It's different. It's all closed in and no windows. But
Is it hot or cold or what?
Well, there's no insulation in it, so in the winter it's cold, in the summer it's hot.
Yeah, I see you were 11 Bravo also, right?
Yeah, that's when you first get in the Army, you're automatically 11 Bravo,
That's an infantryman.
right?
And you went to training at Dix for that, or?
Yes.
Okay. You deployed to Germany, Kuwait, and Iraq. Can you tell us a little about each deployment?
All right, my first duty station was Germany, Schweinfurt, Germany. And I was attached to the 3rd Infantry Division. And I was assigned the support platoon. And our job was I was a fuel truck driver. I was in POL, Petroleum Oil and Lubricant. And our job was to supply the tanks, the M1 tanks, with fuel.
There was a lot of field work out with that, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, every month we went out to the field. In winter, we went like to Grafenwehr, Wild Flicken, Hornsfeld, and a variety of other field exercises we went to. And I remember one time I was trying to find a battalion of tanks, and it was like a hill, and all the tanks went down it before I arrived there. Well, that was like a hill, it was like a sheet of ice, and my 5-ton truck, just started sliding down the hill, and there was a cliff there. My truck was like this on the cliff there, so I had to stay there, and then until somebody drove by and called another battalion up, and they winched me up the hill.
Heck of a sleigh ride, huh?
Oh yeah, big time.
You also, what was Germany like? The people there and
The people were pretty friendly. It's kind of, it was a different language, but they did speak English, so they knew what we were talking about, and the the beer was kick-ass.
Were you there during the holidays?
Yes.
Tell people what it's like to be overseas, away from your family on the holidays, especially Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Pretty lonely.
Yes.
You know, you're out there with, sometimes we're in the field, just, and Christmas, New Year's Eve, all holidays. You don't really even think about it. You just, it's just like another day.
You then also went to Kuwait.
Yeah, when I got deployed to Kuwait, we were about to get into, we were in Kuwait and we were in the desert in Kuwait, and we were waiting for orders from the president going to Baghdad.
So you weren't there when you went in, or?
No, I went to Germany,
Okay.
and then reserves, then.
Okay, and you went to Iraq now. How did that go?
Well, that was pretty wild. It was like 140 degrees over there, sandstorms. It was, we got to go to Saddam's palaces, see the big chandeliers, but, we were kind of getting ambushed on the road. And one time we had a mission that we had to go to, actually went to Syria to bring back truckloads of supplies to Baghdad. And on our way there, we got ambushed about 2 or 3 times. So I had to call air support in. And so on the way back, I had a Black Hawk in the rear and a Black Hawk in the front of the convoy. Then we had must have been about 15 Syrian trucks coming back to Baghdad.
What's it like when you're over there? The quarters that you have, the food.
Well, we lost a lot of weight over there. All we had was MREs to eat. That was it. And sandstorms, and there was no rain. Not one time it rained over there.
Now the MREs, the meals ready to eat, what were those like?
They sucked. I mean, but you ate them. That was the only thing you had to eat.
During the service, you were awarded the Bronze Star with an oak leaf cluster. Can you give us a little detail about what you went through to earn that award?
I believe it was from my time in Baghdad for calling in air support.
And what happened with that? I mean, did you?
Well, we got ambushed, and one of the guys got blown up by ED on the ground, and his Jeep blew up, and I had to clear the area out and call in air support. So
It's kind of tough when you're out there and you lose a buddy, isn't it?
yes.
People who've never served, who've never been in combat, don't understand the bond that we have over there between the people that we serve with.
No, they have no clue. If you haven't been there, you have no clue what it's like. Because it's with all the stuff happening that was over there, it was just bizarre, and it was something that I've seen stuff that would make you throw up.
I understand. And I appreciate your service for that. What was your service like in the reserves when you weren't over in Iraq?
That was pretty lax. It was a lot different because it was relaxed and it wasn't so strict as it was. But I was the kind of guy who liked, I'm a soldier. That's what I do. So I had at that time I had rank, and so I, got assigned a platoon sergeant, and I had to get my troops squared away with the motor pool.
It's tough being an NCO because you're dealing with different people, and you're trying to get a job done, and it's not an easy job, is it?
No. NCOs make the Army. We're the backbone of the Army. And because the officers, they have no clue on what's going on. I mean, I never got along with officers, and and being an NCO it's something to be proud of.
And NCO is a non-commissioned officer for those who haven't served. Your occupation was in the railroad business as a conductor. What was that like?
That was pretty interesting. I first got in the railroad, and I was kind of clueless the first couple of years. I had no idea what they was talking about, but I caught on finally, and we used to. What I had to do, my job was to yard incoming trains. They were about like 10,000 feet long. Then I had to put them in the tracks. You know, I'd ride the back of the train, and I with a walkie-talkie, and I talked to the engineer. So he knew, because he's 10,000 feet ahead of me. You know, I had to learn all the signals. Then we got the signal, yard them into the track, but I had to make sure that the lineup was correct, because if the lineup's not correct or a switch is thrown wrong, it's a derailment.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that.
No.
You can't really hide the derailment.
No, not really. I ask every one of my military guests, excuse me, how they feel about being a vet. How do you feel about being a vet?
I feel pretty proud, and like I accomplished something. I did accomplish something in my life, and I tried to set the examples for others. You know, everything I've learned in the service is, you know, I wouldn't be where I'm at today without being in the service. I'd probably be dead or in jail.
Yeah. It does teach you discipline, that's for sure.
You betcha.
Thanks for coming on the show today, and please accept this coin.
Oh, wow, thank you very
And
much.
this pin.
Oh, wow, thank you, sir.
And welcome aboard.
Yeah. And I brought some candy for the troops, too.
Thank you.
So.
I'd like to read from one of the letters I received from the troops that we supported. Jim, this is from August 14th, 2017. I just wanted to write you real quickly and let you know that all of us really appreciate the care packages that you guys have sent us. It is like Christmas every time we get one. Hopefully the thank you card has made its way to you. I've been meaning to write, but things here get busy when I sit down for a few minutes. There's a constant rotation of people that come through here, and as long as the packages are addressed to West AGE, we will continue to get them and enjoy them. Please pass along our thanks from me and our team. Thanks, Master Sergeant Mark Archipolo. The holidays are here for us at home over the next couple of months. But please remember the military men and women all over the world. And they won't be celebrating with their families or at home. Please keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Well, that's a conclusion of another show here on PHTV4. I hope that you enjoyed it and will pass it on to others. I look forward to doing this again next month. Have a safe and wonderful holiday. Honor and respect.